All right, so another episode, Serral, Ladder Diaries, and the glorious man that Serral is. He's given us a series against Clem on Babylon. Bit of a Terran map, tiny bit. It's smaller. It's not a Gressfon or something like that. So I know I've said this is Serral and this is Clem, but we should introduce our players because that's what casters do. So on the bottom right, in the red, for Team Liquid, Clem. And in the upper left, in the blue, you may know him as Serral, but this account, Sepisusi. And one of these days, I'm going to ask Serral, what in the world Sepisusi, I don't know what that actually means. I assume it's some sort of fantastic Finnish joke because, you know, it's funny. We think of Serral as pretty deadpan. He's this player that'll go and will say some dry thing and whatever. But if you kind of let your mind think about it a little bit and you kind of get yourself in the right mood, you'll realize that Serral's hilarious. He is really funny. I know, again, personal anecdote, whatever. But I was talking to him at DreamHack Atlanta. And I went up and I'm talking to him. I'm like, oh, there was a ZVZ series, I think, that was going to get started. I'm like, yeah, Serral, I'm so excited. I'm one of these few players. I know it's weird, but I really enjoy ZVZ. I think it's fantastic. And he just kind of looks at me for a second. And I think it's something, I think I had said something to the effect of, you know, for one, I think ZVZ, I love ZVZ. You know, I think the late game in particular is just awesome. Hydra Lurker Viper versus Hydra Lurker Viper, just 10 out of 10. But he just looks at me after I say, you know, for one, I like this ZVZ. And he's like, well, you know, Mayo, I for one don't like ZVZ. And he just had this glint in his eye. And I tell this story, and I've not found a way for the story to sound funny. But I can tell you that the delivery is just so deadpan. And, you know, the contextually, most humor is contextual. Some isn't. I mean, if I say knock knock, and you say who's there, and I say orange, and you say orange shoe, and I say, orange chocolate, you're on a banana. It's not really contextual. It's also not funny, but we can appreciate it as a joke, even if it's not, you know, even if it's not actually funny. But anyway, point being is if you give Serral a chance, he is a pretty funny individual. His lings now, they're going to take some damage, but Clem, this is on the European server, so he's going to commit to this a little bit. Drones have to get pulled off the line. That should really be the extent of it. And by the way, Clem is playing so well as of late, tries to dive on top of the lings, unsuccessful. But he does maybe deny the Screep Tumor. No, he's not going to get it. Too much damage on the Reaper means that this tumor will be ready by the time the Reaper has enough energy to dive high ground once again. But Clem's been showing really good form as of late. He beat Pion in EPT North America 172, the finals, and well, that video will be going up later this week. Sorry to spoil you all, actually. I got the timing wrong in my head, but he played very well. He had an incredible run. And that EPT North America, he's actually been playing in EPT NA a lot, which is new for Clem. Normally, we'll see him play in Europe, maybe. Even when in ESL points, or even when EPT points were on the line. But something about this year, we're seeing a lot more of, really everyone. A lot more of the top players playing in EPT North America. I don't have a good reason why, but I do know that it is happening. Maybe it's just that ESL Masters starts next week if you're watching this video on release, and practice is a good idea. I don't know. But for now, Serral gets his third base up. Really, no challenges. The Reapers are being annoying, and Hellions and Reapers run across. But this is, well, as bog standard can be. Yes, there's a Banshee on the way, but this is 3CC Hellion Banshee. This is Clem going into the mid game. And one thing I've been talking about a little bit, and granted, this is a ladder game, okay? This is not the grand finals of an ESL Open Cup or a KSL or a Kung Fu Cup or, you know, something bigger even, ESL Masters, where we can talk about series planning, things like that. But this is a pretty excellent opportunity to talk about Clem's approach to series planning, because I think that is really the thing that is holding him back from wholesale competitive success. Yes, he will win ESL Masters if he runs into all the Zergs. That tends to work out pretty well for him. You know, he's got 5 DreamHack Masters European Championships at this point, but it's from killing the Zergs. In these matchups where it does really feel like he needs to have more than just kind of pure raw mechanics, it has to have varied builds and has to set build a number 1 up to go into build number 2. I don't know that we see that from him as much, and I mean, it's kind of evidenced here. I could have told you, as Ling's are going to look for a bit of a counterattack, keeping the Banshee right at home. Nice job, Serral. I could have told you going into this game with a probably 95% certainty. As Lings there, well, they're going to try to dodge this. Hellions want to dive in, but the Lings, they get a great surround. No Hellions going down just yet. There we go. Reapers and Hellions will fall. Drones are getting pulled to block here, but the lineup is really nice. And Clem's going to try to dive in just a little bit more. Serral trying to get a little bit skimpy on the Ling patrol. Well, 6 drones go down. Honestly, I thought that was going to be worse. There were a couple moments there where Serral was, I mean, he had significant lineups. But anyway, going back to the topic at hand, I could have told you probably 95% certainty that Serral or that Clem was going to go Reaper Hellion into a 3rd command center into Banshees. And if he wasn't going to do that, he was going to do Banshees into the 3rd CC. Slightly faster Banshees, slightly slower 3rd command center. Because that's just what Clem does. He does not really show interesting looks in the early game in ZVT, in TVZ in particular. Other matchups, sure, fine. He had a great series versus Beyond where he showed us all manner of funky builds. And it's the Zerg matchup. He is so reliant on his mechanics, which, I mean, I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. It's borne out. He won DreamHack Masters. It makes sense. He won it 5 times actually. But again, if you want to start to go to that next level where you're winning offline events, I would like to see him kind of mix up his build orders a little bit. And to put a pin in this idea, as the Banshees, they're going to try to get this 4th base, and there is no healing, so the 4th base gets canceled. Well, excuse me, the 5th base gets canceled. Hold on there, Clem. The ladder, and I guess the customs as well, but the ladder is the perfect opportunity for a player like Clem to be able to practice the interesting builds, the odd builds. The 2 Raxes, the 2 Barracks and a Wall Reaper timings, and all the other interesting, the 2-1-1s, all the other interesting manner of builds that can just make it so the Zerg doesn't play quite so greedy against you. Because Serral's on 76 drones despite the damage that he took. And the Lings now, they're going to look for a surround and force a hot pickup. Baneling speed's already done 7 minutes in. 1-1, halfway done as well. And yeah, Clem does have a bit of an upgrade timing here. His 1-1 is just about done. But the important upgrade for Serral, that's complete, right? He has his Baneling speed, and Baneling speed, I would put it on the same status as something like, well, Queens have to retreat away for a moment, but that's a dead Banshee. There we go. I would put Baneling speed kind of on the same level as, wow, blanking on the name. There we go. There we go. Combat shields. I would put it on the same level as combat shields, where it's good. And is it as good as 2-2 as 3-3? No, it's not. But compared to 1-1, it's arguably that much more important. It allows you to take fights and allows your Banelings to make connections. And it's not like the Terran is on absolutely massive DPS early on. So Banelings, a tiny connection. But at this point, Serral is defending the edge of his creep. Clem is making sure that he can push in as much as possible. Because really it is all about the 2-2 timing, all about once 8 Raxes are complete, once Drilling Claws are done, once Clem can really start to push in on multiple angles. So for now, Lings run in, trigger the Widowmine, gets really no damage here. Clem on the left side also thinking about something. And Clem, more than any other Terran, is so good. And nice blitz there coming in from Serral. Now, Widowmines, how good are their shots? They're not. Not at all. Clem's not able to get the target fire that he wants, so Serral's going to clean this one up pretty easily. Creep spread should get started pretty quickly after that. And Serral has not lost any queens, by the way. I was worried that maybe on the left side he had because we didn't see any in frame, but he's still 10 queens on the map. He is totally fine. And of course, this style of TVZ is just a mad dash. Nice splits there from Serral. Is just a mad dash towards the late game. Towards 3-3 to Ghost maybe, to Lurkers as Serral is going Hydraling here. Widowmines are going to be, or Baneling connections are going to be fantastic. Clem on the left side here. He was a little slow on his armory, so it's actually Serral that's going to be into 2-2 just a little bit faster. Ling's looking for that surround. How good are the Widowmine shots going to be? Well, not great at the start. Banelings get great connections here. Now Serral comes moving forward. Friendly Fire is going to do something here. That's actually a lot of the army of Serral gets knocked down. He's going to have to back up for just a moment. 26 Lings are on the way. And we can see him flooding around. Not a lot of creep spread here at this 5th base. Clem has done a fantastic job over the last minute or so of making sure that creep spread that Serral had that was so nice is going down. Splits are pretty decent on the Banelings, or on the Widowmines once again. I think splits were decent on the Banelings too. And this Widowmine drop. 6 more drones, okay. So Clem, strong pushing position here on the left side. Serral has not really been able to reproduce his creep spread. But on the right side, he's doing a good job. Something that, if we want to talk about how we would talk about it in, say, basketball or any other terrestrial sport, we talk about off-ball movement. In this case, it's off-engagement movement, I guess. Making sure that Serral is doing the proper things where Clem is not. So yeah, Clem is doing a great job shoving in, and actually now Serral thinks his opponent is surprised, surrounded, and he is. Nice job. They're taking advantage of, well, Clem maybe microing on the other side. So Serral, big counterattack opportunity here. Cleans up everything on the left side, and seems like the Baneling count is high enough at the moment that Clem, he's going to knock the creep spread out, but he's not really going to be able to push in all that much. So Lings, Banes, they're going to find an SCV line here. How much damage? Well, yeah, the entire mineral line. It's dead, and more importantly, almost as importantly, really, is the fact that Clem has been brought home. Now, Widowmine splits, not quite as good here. So we're relying on his detection to make it a little bit more tenable, but creep goes down. Widowmines get pretty decent shots. But now Serral really only has one avenue to attack into, and notice, pretty much the moment that he secures this left, it's a little slow, but he was, you know, in Serral's credit, he was killing 17 SCVs. 25. Serral has killed more Widowmines than he killed SCVs in this game. That's crazy. But again, in fairness to Serral, he was focusing on the other side of the map. We'll give him the credit that it deserves. And now Widowmine, nice shot there on the second one, but it will get cleaned out regardless. And Serral now, Hive just about done. Equal on upgrades, and I understand why he didn't try to pounce on that army, but that was still a pretty scary army. Something that, or I should say something that Serral could kill. But now we're kind of in this interesting spot where Clem has a single ghost. He seems like he wanted to start the ghost transition, then kind of realized that Serral wasn't prepared for the ghost transition. He had no lurkers, he had no ultras, no vipers, nothing that you really want to ghost against. So he got the single one. Is now we're going to see Widowmines get targeted down here around the corners. Always scary, and a massive shot. 24 Lings go down. That might give Clem the opportunity that he's looking for, especially considering, well, it's mass Baneling here against Marauders. I mean, you don't want that. The Ghost is going to sit at the front, take 6 Banes to kill, so the Ghost is going to be tanky as hell. And now snipes go down, single one of them. Serral desperately holding on this position on the left side, or on the right side. Left side, where the army's going to try to target the hatch down. Not successful. Serral, great job pre-splitting his army here. That's the difference between the good and the great players. It really is. It would be so easy for Serral to say, wow, I'm under a lot of threat on the right side of the map here. I think my entire army needs to be here. I'm going to sweep Clem's army from the map, and that's how I'm going to win. Well, I don't know that I like that. I don't think that is ever going to really happen. I think it's more likely that Widowmines get massive shots like they do right now. 16 kills on that one. So more importantly, Serral is splitting. Not only is he splitting his army, by the way, he's splitting his reinforcements. So he's making sure that this multi-pronged push coming in from Clem is just not going to find what it needs. Scan gets dropped, but the Lings and the Banes will buffer for this, and the one lurker will fall, but it seems like Serral's fine here. And now he's shoving this push back in its entirety. 2-1-2. Adrenal gland's just about done. +3 armor just about done. And now Clem on the right side. Serral, though, really nice position here on the left. He's got a little bit more room to make sure that he doesn't, that actually it's a little bit harder for his army to, or his opponent's army to move forward. Lings now. Widowmines unburrow. They will not get the shots that they need. One final one here, but oh, from the grave. Gets so many of the Banes. And now Clem, he's still got that pushing opportunity. But he's not going to be able to move through the left anymore. Serral's getting ready for a counterattack. He's getting ready to fight this army. I don't know what you want to say. But Serral's going to make it pretty hard for this to happen. Now, lurkers, they do need to burrow up, and they don't have burrow movements, so this is a little bit awkward. Clem, notice, by the way, he pulls his army back on the right side. He doesn't want to get mollywalloped. He doesn't want to get sandwiched. He doesn't want to get hit down by Serral's army on the right side as he pushes left. So, smart little move there. Widowmine's the only thing that kind of remains. I guess there's a Liberator, and Widowmines continue to find value. My goodness. Resources lost now. It's 5,000 in the good for Clem. And he has pretty much all the bases. He's got this 5th base on up. He's going to be able to take this 6th base pretty soon. In fact, that's going to be an orbital. And you know what? With lurkers on the field, I really like that. This is something that we've seen Clem do, or excuse me, Bjorn do on occasion. We're seeing Clem do it here. Widowmine splits are going to be much better this time. Because if there are lurkers up, the planetary will fall. There really is no saving it. Bonus damage to armor, the massive range that it has, it's not going to work out super well. So instead, you build more orbitals, you get more scans, and you make it so that you can just kind of lift against the lurker harass. But now Lings and Mains, they're going to run forward, and Serral, I don't think he can break this. So yeah, there we go. Unburrow, run away, cancels the Banes that they're going to morph in, but I'm pushing on the right side. Snipe goes down, but the Queens, they got transfused. They're going to stay alive. And neither player can really find their way in, but Serral's going to try once again. EMP's on one of the Vipers. And now Lurker, aggressive position. Couple Lings are going to burrow. I think Serral meant to burrow Banes. Not totally sure, but the Lings, they're still here. They're going to unburrow, run away. Actually, you know what it was? Lurkers were part of the control group. That's what happened there. So you burrow the Lurkers, you burrow the Lings. Parasitic Bomb on the Medivacs, but it's only going to be one. Big deal, though. Serral's starting to do tremendous damage to the economy of Clem, and he's not quite in the banking position that he would like to be, not just yet. Widowmines go off. This 6th base does get broken, but in the middle of the map here, the rally getting dealt with. Lurkers, though, they're going to burrow on up. No snipes, no scans. At least not in the right spot. So Clem cannot find the value that he's looking for. He keeps trying to find his way in, but the Ghost can't get close enough. And Serral's defensive queen positioning is actually so nice here. Sarum is going to try to run in, and there we go. Ghost snipe. Actually, no, I think the snipe went off. A queen did fall. But now on the right side, oh, massive links around on top of the Ghost here. Widowmine gets targeted down so quickly. And yeah, Widowmine on the low ground is going to be fine, but the Hydras, there's going to be more than enough damage here as long as they target this down. And it seems like Serral's not. He's actually pulling back. He could have gotten this base, but instead he decides to kind of lose the Hydras anyways, but pull back. And now Viper, Parasitic Bomb. AP is a little bit too slow. Medivacs will fall. And now Serral moving forward once again. This army cannot break the Lurkers. They're trying. They're trying so hard, but it's not working out. These Widowmines are doing so well for Serral. But I'm not sure that it is really enough. Here's now the entire army of Clem finds its way onto the bottom side. Outside of absolutely insane amounts of Widowmines, they're going to get all the Lurkers. They're going to get 2 of them at the very least. We're looking at 12 Widowmines on the field. 56 dead Widowmines. Clem's made almost 60. No, he's made almost 70 Widowmines. That's insane. Especially in a game like this when it's Hydra Lurker Viper. The idea that Clem continues to build Widowmines against Hydra Lurker Viper is ridiculous. You don't tend to get mines against Hydras. The Hydras outrange them. Really, and granted, this axiom, this rule is not quite as true as it used to be. But about a year ago, kind of the way you would talk about the 2 ways that Terran wants to play, right? Is it Marine Tank, or is it 4M? Obviously, Ghosts get added later, whatever. But again, is it 4M, is it Biomine, or is it Marine Tank? If they're going Hydra Ling, you go Marine Tank. If they're going Ling Bane, Muta, something like that, you go Mines. Because Lings do not deal with Mines nearly as well, but Hydras outrange them, so it's kind of okay. But of course, tanks outrange Hydras, and Hydras are squishy. So that's kind of the logic here. Now, 1 Lurker is going to get sniped down. Widowmines are nice, but Friendly Fire is going to do the same. And now Clem's got to run away. There are so many Lurkers here. And EMPs on the Vipers are doing a great job. But it's the ground pounding army that's almost as much of a problem. Widowmines are going to go off, killing reinforcements, sure. Hydras, though, they're going to deal with this Liberator. And now, well, the Ghosts are trying to get the snipes off as well as they can. Seems like they're going to be successful. There are still... What's that? 11 Lurkers just sitting there. They're not all burrowed up, of course, but they're here. And that means that this base is going to struggle to ever find value. Snipes go down, and Serral's going to run away. Now we're actually seeing one of the benefits of having concussive shells, I guess. It's not one I really thought about. By the way, Clem does snipe on the north side. But with the Ghost snipe change, it appears actually that having Marauders in this army as well is so nice. It means the Zerg can't run away nearly as easily as now. Ghosts are going to run forward here, soaking as much damage as possible. Now we see the Overseer go down, and some of these Lurkers will eventually get sniped down. There's just not enough vision for it right now. And Serral's slowly getting picked apart by this. I would love to see him just engage. Just deputize single Hydras to go and just tap all the Ghosts to make sure that they can't get their snipes off. But now... single Ghost getting abducted. A Viper will give its life for the absolute temerity to think to abduct a ghost. What am I covering? Now the vision goes down, but Serral, a constant reinforcement here of overseers. Even still. Hydras will fall. Serral on the right side. Seems like he wanted to bust this base, but he wasn't able to. Too much army, too many Widowmines, I guess, here. Although, that Widowmine has no kills, just took damage. But honestly, if I'm a Serral fan right now, I'm pretty happy with how this game's going. As a snipe is, well, it's only a single ghost trying to snipe. You need more than that. You need something to distract, to muddle the lurker shots. As now, again, another snipe does not go off here. Widowmines move forward. Or Banelings move forward. Widowmine will fall. Nice split there from Serral. But again, if I'm a Serral fan, I'm pretty happy. I'm preventing a base from my opponent, and I have pretty much every base that I could want. I've got both vertical bases here. I've got really every Zerg base. And if he can hold on to this base, that's going to be pretty nice. Snipe goes down. Eventually, this lurker will fall because Serral, I guess, is distracted elsewhere. But his next challenge is going to try to break this position forward. Widowmines, well, they're not on cooldown right now, but the Banelings, I mean, they're against Ghosts and Marauders. Ghost takes 6 hits. I'm not quite sure what the number is for Marauders, but regardless, they're tanky as hell. And now Clem taking this opportunity to try to find value, but there are just too many lurkers here. Serral was distracted, but not that distracted. The lurkers found the value that they needed, so Clem loses so many ghosts. 24 dead ghosts to 15 lurkers. And if we look at resources lost here, yeah, it's 10k. It was 5k 5 minutes ago, but on it, oh, big abducts there on a bunch of ghosts. But realistically, 5,000 resources lost in 11 minutes is not that bad for the Zerg whatsoever. As now the bio runs forward, more Banelings are gonna morph, but it's starting to feel like this army from Clem on the north side is something that Serral can absolutely break through, but Widowmine's always the great equalizer. This piece of Fortress Terran is damn hard for Clem to really dislodge, but what he's doing, he's just pulling his entire lurker force. Now he doesn't want to show too early, but he's going to pull his entire lurker force forward. It's a massive break here. The lurkers, they're going to burrow. There's nowhere to run here. Clem's just got to pick up and go away, and Parasitic Bombs may have something to say about that one. Banelings come rolling in. Ghost can't go down. Marauders, the reinforcements, I guess, trying to find value, but the base is dead. Serral orchestrates a massive break. And now Liberator, the one that remains, has killed a couple lurkers. That's fantastic. But he kills off, he annihilates Clem's base. And Clem, he's going to try to do something the same. He's got 6 ghosts here. Serral's army is fast responding onto the other side, and realistically losing a... Where's the detection? Oh, there's this more. Realistically, losing a couple drones in this game, who cares? Serral got such a massive win right there. Clem doesn't have much money anymore. He's mining 1,400 minerals a minute. He's going to take an orbital on this base. But he's going to have to dedicate a lot to holding that position. He has never been allowed. And by the way, Scan misses the burrowed Zergling. He has never been allowed to take bottom middle. And that's a problem really in and of itself. And now with the spores out ahead of the lurkers here, Serral's going to have so much time. And honestly, this position, it's not nearly as important as it once was. I mean, gas is nice. That's important. Actually, it's super important here. Serral's running out of gas. But there are no minerals, so Serral's going to have to start mining the bottom side. And he needs to mine. He has a bunch of gas geysers. He needs to mine from these. His gas income is pretty horrible. Now snipes go down on all the Vipers. This is probably Clem's last army for quite a while. EMPs on the Infestors as well. Banelings run forward. Ghosts are cloaked up, but there's just too much Zerg. The Banelings kill all the ghosts here. A little bit left running away, but these are +3/+3 Hydras, and they're killing everything. So Serral, well, he might lose a couple of Hydras or a couple Hydras on the backside, but he breaks through Clem once again, and this base is destined to fail. Lurkers deal with that one. There's no mining here, and there's really no mining for Clem at all. So Serral comes flooding down the ramp once again. Clem, this paltry force, is going to have to do so much, but I don't know how much it can. Widowmines get targeted down. Lings get on top of everything. Friendly fire, it's actually, I mean, it actually just kills most of the Lings, but even still. Yeah, it actually didn't do anything. No friendly fire there, but now Ghosts getting abducted one by one. And lurkers here. This base should be denied. Serral, he has a little bit more APM. Should unburrow those lurkers and move them a little bit further forward. But now Ghosts run forward. They're not going to get snipes anymore. This army is too small. You can't... Well, actually, as I say that, invisible snipes through the through the terrain, you actually don't see the lines. But Clem has to tap out because he has no money. And Serral was still mining. So, Serral plays a fantastic game, on ladder against Clem. And Clem made a run of it, but Serral just a little bit too solid in that late game. But if you like these and you want to get one every week, you should follow my YouTube. I upload these every Tuesday, every Wednesday, something like that. For the most part, you want to get caught up on news, Night News Network every Sunday, but there's a 3-week gap because I'm traveling this weekend, and then the next 2 weekends I'll be working ESL Masters, won't have the time to put it together. But in general, you want the news of StarCraft, Night News Network, and also you want to catch me live? I stream on Twitch a couple days a week, every Monday, most Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays, things of that nature. 8 p.m. on the weekdays, 4 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. on the weekends when I have the time. So, twitch.tv/Beowulf, and I'll see you there. Thanks so much for watching. It's a pleasure.